Ken, thanks again for making time for us here with another volatile situation not too far from you. So Ken, tell us about the overall pattern. What have we been dealing with in the recent months here in California?
Well, it's been the have and the have-nots in California this winter season so far. Since the beginning of October, Northern California's had a lot of rain. They're well above normal. Reservoir is doing fine. Southern California can't buy a drop of rain. Well below normal, only like 1, 2, 3% of normal rainfall since the beginning of October. So everything is just as dry now as during the summer months. It has not gotten wet at all, and therefore the fuels for these fires is extremely dry and volatile.
And Ken, we kind of hinted at this earlier. We showed the rainfall map, departures from average over the past 30 days. And there's just nothing to show for this here, much south of the San Joaquin Valley, unfortunately. So I know that you've been dialed into the situation with the Palisades fire. Where do we stand now, and what are some of the biggest problems with this part of the area regarding fire? Every fire is different, I know.
We're closing in on almost 1,300 acres at this point. It probably is that at this time, and we have, of course, zero containment. Evacuation orders are in place. About 15,000 people have been evacuated so far. Houses have already burned. Others are in danger. People are having trouble getting out of the Palisades area because there's limited amounts of roads going into there, very narrow roads, and because of that, they're having trouble getting down out of the hills down into the Pacific Coast Highway. And in fact, we've got some video of bulldozers actually having to push the cars off the road to make room for the fire trucks to get up to the fire zone. So this is a very harrowing experience going on in those areas right now, and indicative of what we're facing not only right now, but we're going to face through tonight into tomorrow morning. It could develop just about anywhere across Southern California. We have one fire right now. That doesn't mean others will not occur.
I know that the smoke has easily been seen from the Westwood campus of UCLA, and it's moving generally toward the coastline here. So as we take a look at the big picture, we've got some current wind gusts on the map. And Ken, whenever I look at this, you know, we build airports in places that are going to be more amenable to air traffic. So obviously, if these are the points of reference where we have data, some of the canyons and passes are seeing some screaming winds, most likely. Do you think that's the case?
I've seen winds in the 65 to 75 mile per hour gusts so far. And the reason I say that is the strongest winds are going to occur sometime tonight into tomorrow morning. That's when the most favorite time is usually anyways. But also it's when the core of the strongest winds aloft are going to be coming across Southern California. I'm looking at models right now that's showing 70, 75, 80 knots of winds at 5,000 feet over Southern California, especially in the Ventura County, LA County area. So that kind of wind aloft can get transferred down to the surface as colder air moves in, the air sinks, and that sinking air brings those winds down from aloft, and those kind of gusts, 70, 80 miles per hour, maybe even greater, are very possible in some of the foothill communities as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning.
And sometimes, Ken, the areas like downtown LA are exempt from some of the wind. It's going to be windy even in parts of the city there. So is this a true Santa Ana event, or is there kind of a caveat here? Regardless, the impact is high and very severe.
It's a true Santa Ana effect on steroids right now because, yes, LA doesn't usually get winds. In this case, LAX is getting some pretty strong gusty winds right now. It's got to be causing some delays into LAX and all the airports in Southern California. This is an unusual situation. It's rare. It happens, but it is rare when we get winds this widespread. And just because you live in areas that don't usually get strong Santa Ana winds doesn't mean you can't get them tonight.
All right. Well, we really appreciate your insight. As always, AccuWeather California expert Ken Clark. Thanks again from the Golden State. Ken, we appreciate you. Thanks for dialing in.
You're very welcome, Jeff.